Hello there and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries and welcome to week 6 of my cycle training plan. Now, I seem to remember some idiot last week saying that he thought spring was in the air because it was getting drier, the weather was getting warmer and the sun was starting to shine. But then along came Storm Ciara and changed all of that. Now, Storm Ciara does indeed sound like she's an actress in a rather controversial art house film, but it's actually a storm that's raging across the UK as I speak. Here down in Hampshire, I think the worst has passed, but yesterday it was absolutely awful. We had incredibly strong winds, basically hurricane force and torrential rain. Everybody was staying inside, nobody was going anywhere, and we just had to sit the storm out. Today, as you can probably see in the garden, it's abated a little bit, and hopefully that will allow me to get out on the bike this week. If and when I do get out on the bike this week, the plan is going to be pretty much the same as it's been for the last 6 weeks or so. And that's to ride at my home cadence of 90 revs per minute while maintaining my heart rate between 70 and 80% of my maximum. So the totals for the year so far are 397 kilometers ridden, 19.5 hours of seat time, and 3,273 meters climbed. One of my plans for later in the summer is to go out and do a 100-mile ride. Now, I've only ever done that twice before, and the last time was back in 2015. It's quite tough. It's very easy to underestimate it, but nevertheless, I've set myself that as a target for probably about August time. And to help me do that, I've signed up to ride the London Prudential 100, and today's the day the ballot gets in. So I've got my envelope right here, and let's open it and see how I've done. Right, well, here we go. As you can see, it says commiserations, so unfortunately I'm a reject again. Now, this is about the 4th time I've applied to get in on the ballot, and it's the 4th time I've been rejected. So I'm not overly disappointed, I'm not overly surprised, but it is a little bit annoying because, you know, you would have thought that I would have had a 1 in 4 chance at least of getting in. But never mind, I'm not going to do a charity place, but I think instead I'll just go out and ride an independent 100-mile ride of my own.
Rivers run dry, dust spreads in the air. 2 dark days, do you have a tear to spare? Make a promise, the world awaits. It's heavy just breathing through this debate.
Unfortunately, my training for that event, and indeed all the other events that I'm doing, have taken a bit of a back seat. As you can see, I'm away at the moment. I'm in the town of Henley, which is about an hour and a half's drive from where I live. Normally I'd try and take the bike with me, but obviously with the Storm Dennis making things a little bit difficult, that hasn't really happened. Consequently, I've only done 1 ride this week, and that was on KinoMap, and I did a route around Hong Kong doing a virtual ride with Team Sky. I covered about 22 kilometers according to the app, and I was actually riding on the turbo in the garage for about 40 minutes. Now, obviously, because I haven't been cycling this week, my fitness is going to start declining. And according to the fitness score on Strava, when I did that Kino Map session, I was doing quite well with a score of 36, and then it's progressively started to go down to 34, and then today it's giving me a score of 32. Now, within the grand scheme of things, that's not too bad, I suppose. It's not any worse than it was this time last week, so hopefully the weather's going to improve, and I'll have a bit more time to get out on the bike and push that fitness score up a bit. As I said earlier, the grand totals for this week are not very impressive at all. I've ridden 22 kilometers with 41 minutes of seat time, and because I was on the turbo trainer, I didn't do any climbing whatsoever. A couple of days ago, entries opened for the Isle of Wight Randonnée, and if you don't know what that is, it's an absolutely fantastic event that takes place the first Sunday in May. It's completely free, and it's basically a ride around the Isle of Wight. It's 110 kilometers with about 1500 meters of climbing, so it's pretty tough. The weather can be absolutely amazing. In 2018 it was absolutely baking hot, but then last year it was pretty cold. It's a fairly tough event, and it forms the next milestone event that I do after my 100 kilometer ride at in the middle of March. Now, I've been giving that ride some thought as well, and at the moment my plan is to ride from where I live in Hampshire to the city of Oxford, and that's a distance, according to the route that I've created with the Hammerhead dashboard, it's about 113 kilometers with 900 meters of climbing. So it's a very similar distance to the Isle of Wight, but obviously there's a little bit less climbing to do. So my thinking is, if I can do that ride fairly comfortably, the Isle of Wight Randonnée should be well within my ability. So the plan for next week, hopefully the weather will be improving once Storm Dennis has passed, and I'll be able to get out on the bike and do some longer rides. I've got a few weeks of training left before I need to start worrying about the 100 kilometer ride that I'll be doing. So hopefully I can get some longer rides in while still maintaining my preferred heart rate and my preferred cadence. So there we go, that's this week. It's all been a bit wet, soggy and windy. Hopefully the sun will shine next week and I can get out on the bike again. Thanks for watching.